Hello, hello. We are live. Welcome back. And if you're here, say hello and watching the replay again, as always, hashtag replay. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate when you guys do that. I always kind of get a little message and pop in, and it's always nice to stay connected in that way. So today is more of like an insight, awareness, and observation about myself and others, rather than more like a teaching. So let's dive in. Again, if you're here, let me know you're here. And if you are, whether you're here live or a replay, let me know where you're from. I was just thinking about that this morning. I'm thinking, I think most of the people are, from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I know, though, we have some people from the States, from Europe. I think a few people from Africa. So I love just keeping the connection going. So let me know where you're from and say hello. So I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, so let's dive in. The topic today is let the part of you, or parts plural, that you don't want people to see be seen. Easier said than done, I know, but this is where we blossom. It's where we evolve. It's where we transform. It's where we connect to our wholeness, and this is needed more than ever. And it's interesting because, well, first of all, most of us don't want to be fully seen, right? Whether it's fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being judged, fear of not being liked, not being accepted. And if you're like me, you're probably going to think, well, no, I'm pretty transparent. I show who I am. But for me, there was a little bit of self-discovery, and I was noticing what I was attracting. I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, I was, and I still do, I'm not perfect. There was parts of me when I had this realization, I realized that I hide part of myself. And when I was able to look at it, there was so much juice in that, because that's where the transformation happens. When you look at it, as opposed to just, oh no, I'm not going to let that part of me be seen, that's where the transformation happens. So if you're just joining us, our topic is let the part or parts of you that you don't want to be seen, because that is the juice. That's where you transform. But it's usually the place where we don't want to look. We don't want people to see. So for me, I'll just put it out there. For me, where this showed up several years ago is in my spirituality. And in hindsight, I realized that I hid that part of myself. I felt, because I'm a health professional and I've got a science background, I'm a kinesiologist, I work in corporate, that I felt people would take me less serious. People would feel that I'm a bit woo-woo. And I hid this part of myself. And it's not that, like, I sit on the top of a mountaintop and I hum and drum my way to success. It's not like that. I feel like I'm very rooted in my physicality as well as my spirituality. I feel like I'm quite grounded in both, but the spiritual part, I hid it. So I didn't want that part to be seen. And we all have these parts of ourselves. Maybe it's not for you, that spirituality, maybe it's something else. But for me, underneath the fear of rejection, fear of whatever it might be, for me, it was this fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of not being fully received, And I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I don't mind sharing, but I think I might have mentioned this once or twice, but I was given up for adoption when I was 6 days old. And like all of us, when we're 6 days old, right out of the womb, we're fully being ourselves, right? So it's this sense, whether, you're given up for adoption, something happens to us in a younger age where we're told it's not okay to be you. Be quiet, you shouldn't be heard but not seen, all these different things we've been told. So it's like, it's not okay to be me. And we really need to challenge that belief, because there's so much potential for transformation there, because we are here to be fully who we are, right? So for me, like, I was told, like, I was being fully me as a kid and I was given up. It's like, oh, well, I shouldn't be me. Like, what do I need to do? I need to hide that part of myself. So for me, it showed up in my spirituality. You know, I didn't want that part of me to be seen. And I'll tell you a story around that. If you're just joining us, we're talking about letting the parts of you that you don't want people to see be seen, because that is where you transform. That's where you blossom. That's where you accept your wholeness. That's where you have radical self-love, unconditional self-acceptance. And you won't, you know, if you're living a limited life, not life, like lives, like if you're connected to only part of yourself, not your whole self, just part of yourself. So I call that limited self. When you live from this limited self, you attract limitless back, limited back, not limited. My gosh. When you live from a limited place, take two, you are going to attract limited back to you. And I'll give you an example. Hello, guys. Nice to see you. I love the comments. Hello. So here's a story I want to tell you. I don't know if I've told this story very many times, but years ago, I was dating a fellow and we'd been in a few dates in and we were getting along really well. And I don't know if it was date like 3, 4, what doesn't really matter, but a few dates in, I told him that I was planning to go to this retreat. And I can remember his words, word by word. And he said, "Oh, good thing you didn't tell me that on our first date." And I remember going, what? I still remember the exact words, exactly where I was. I was in an older house where I was living, sitting on the bench. And I'm like, I was talking to him on the phone. I'm like, did that just come out of his mouth? So I'm telling him I'm going to this retreat, right? A spiritual retreat. And he says, whoa, good thing you didn't tell me that on our first date. Like, I'm kind of liking you now, but if you told me that on your first date, I basically would have said like, yeah, we're done now. Like, and I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. And I have no recollection what I said after that. I had no recollection. I have no idea. We're not together. But if I had that conversation today, it would be, I would have the recollection. I would know exactly what I'm going to be saying, right? Like, this is who I am now, right? This is who I am. Like, there's so much truth in that, right? Like, I'm just calling him in. It's not nothing to really do with him. I'm just calling him in to teach me this lesson, right? I'm just drawing him in what I need to learn. I'm drawing him in to show me what's going on inside of me, right? So we need to accept all of ourselves. I was just thinking about this morning. I always reflect the morning of the lives, and I had it made me think about this girl in elementary school. She was a brain. She got straight A's on every single subject. This was grade 6. And we were together for several years, but this is grade 6 I'm remembering. And she got straight A's in everything. She got 100%. You know, the odd time it might be like 98, 99. Rarely did she get a B. Like, she just didn't. Like, she rarely or just didn't get B's. Like, I don't remember ever. And she was always like just a brain, right? And she was teased for this a little. And I remember years down the road, my mom, well, her mom told my mom, told me, and I just remember feeling like, wow, like I felt a little heartbroken over this, that she wanted to be so accepted and so loved and accepted for who she was, that she started getting B's. She purposely answered questions on the exam to get herself like a lower grade, or she'd get like 85% or whatever it might be. She purposely dimmed her light. She purposely dummied herself down just so she'd be accepted. Like, that's crazy. Like, what's going on like at a deeper level for that to happen, right? That's huge. We're basically saying it's not okay to be me. But here's the deal, whether it's my spirituality, her brains, right? Whatever we have going on, we are not put on this planet to dim our uniqueness, to hold back, to withdraw, to not allow parts of ourselves to be seen. We have to find the courage. What was the post I did this morning? It was a Brene Brown, finding the courage to fully be yourself, something like that. But it was the word courage was really stood out for me. And it's huge because if you want to grow, that's the place you have to go. You have to go to your wholeness. But all of us are trying to grow and evolve and try this strategy and this meditation and this healing, and all those can help, but it's like you've got to go to the place, you've got to go to your wholeness. You've got to have radical self-love for you. You've got to have unconditional self-acceptance for you. You've got to go to your wholeness. It's not out there. It's your wholeness. That's how we bloom. That's how we transform. Again, we show up from limited selves, like all of me, maybe not, maybe 80%, that other 20%. I'll show a little bit of my spirituality, but I'm going to hide that 20% because, you know, if I want to work with in corporate, those people are going to think I'm woo-woo. People might think I'm not very, they won't take me serious. Like I'm way better, but there's still a part of me, right? So it's like, I need to show up in my wholeness, my limitless self, if I want to get that back. We know that, the law of attraction, what we put out, we get back. It's easier said than done, right? You might be listening going, well, where do I do that? Do I really do that? But if we get a little honest with ourselves, get quiet, look what we're attracting, right? Easier said than done. It is a journey, but that's what we're here for. We're here to show our whole selves. We're here to show our whole selves, right? So I want to leave you with two questions. One question is what part or parts of me do I withhold? Do I not let you want to see, right? For fear of, you fill in the blank, judgment, rejection, whatever it might be. Now, I'm not saying to let me just pause here. I just want to read the comments. Yeah, okay, I'll go back into it a bit more. I'm not sure why I can't scroll down here, but yeah. What's happening here? There we go. Okay, yeah, loving it. Okay, so the first question is this: what part or parts of me do I withhold, dim my light, hide, not wanting myself to be seen? I'll show you 60% or 92%, you know, but I'm hiding some. And the point I was going to make is it's not about sharing dirty, dark secrets all over social media, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about having discernment. See the situations where you are withholding, where you're not accepting your wholeness, you're not allowing yourself to be fully seen, right? In the good bits and the not so good bits, right? Your full glory, not just the shiny stuff, the not so shiny stuff. They could be in ideas and dreams, goals, things you want to create. I know I have told people a lot of things that I want to create and they just roll their eyes, right? And some good things have come out of it, but I'm a little out of the box. Could be a little cuckoo right now. A lot of my friends, well, they think I'm cuckoo. I don't think I'm that cuckoo, but maybe I am cuckoo. But this is who I am, right? And me embracing that has led to some really cool things, right? And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Like maybe for you, it's certain feelings that you don't want people to see. Maybe there's regrets. Maybe there's things in, you know, even if you're starting to get to know someone, whether it's a business relationship, a romantic relationship, or a friendship, and you know, I don't want to show that part of myself, but that is how you get exposed for who you are. That's how people feel into you. That's how you have deeper connections. That's how you love yourself more. That's how you are more received. That's how you get more opportunities, right? So that's the first thing. Get really inquisitive. What is that part of yourself, or parts, plural? Spend time with that. And then take the baby steps, showing yourself a little more, where it feels a little more safe, a little more safe, a little more safe. This group, you know, I start with all my events that it's a safe and sacred place. That's what this place is. So I would love if you guys can share it. Now, the question number 2 is, how does it serve me to withhold or play it safe or only show parts of me? Now you're going, what? Why are you asking that question? We just talked about like exposure. Because there's a deeper part of ourselves that doesn't want this. So when I ask the question, or you ask that to yourself, how does it serve me to withhold parts of myself, allow my part of myself not to be seen? Your logical mind will say, well, it doesn't. And that's true, it doesn't. But there's a part of you that runs the show, that wants to keep you safe, that doesn't want you to expose yourself, and it will do anything to stay safe. So I really want you to look at that, because that's how you go, okay, when you actually look at it and you answer that question, it starts losing its power over you. So again, if you didn't write that down, how does it serve me to withhold or play it safe or not show parts of myself? And the answer is going to be unique to all of you, but it's going to be in some sort of flavor, I'll call it. Well, if I stay safe, I withhold, I don't show all of me, if I dim my light a little bit, I get to stay safe. I won't get hurt. I won't get exposed. People won't, I won't be open up to maybe some criticism, but it comes at a huge cost, not being fully in your power, your truth, being fully you. So there's 2 questions for you. Take the baby steps, and feel free if you feel like you want to be seen. Here's a perfect opportunity, right? Here's your first baby step. Share where you might not want to be seen, and know that this is a very safe place for you. So I'll leave this last question, those are 2 questions for you. I'll leave you with this writer downer. I am here, not here in this room, here in this Facebook Live, but here in my whole beingness in this planet, here and now. I am here to be fully seen. I'm here to be fully seen. Okay, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and love you. Bye-bye.